Welcome to the forefront of transformation. MSP Plus OS launched with a promise. Today, we deliver on that promise. Every day, every project. We're not just consultants. We are creators, innovators, leaders. Our journey has just begun, but our impact resonates. Together, we've turned challenges into opportunities and visions into realities. Now, we're ready to take the next leap, to amplify our reach, to elevate our game. This is MSP Plus OS. Visionaries, unite. Innovators, ignite. Leaders, let's conquer the new era of IT solutions. The future isn't waiting, neither are we. The live stream starts now.
Hey everyone, and good morning, and welcome to PitchIT 2024. This is the season kickoff. I'm your host, Adam Volansky, CEO of MSP Plus OS, and I'm excited to jump in today's session, talking really around last year's PitchIT. It was awesome seeing 24 incredible contestants compete to win the grand prize, right? We've got some amazing lineups today. We have Sean Lardo leading the charge and some past contestants, Matt from Nodeware and Dave from DefenseX, ready to share kind of their journeys and insights. And I really want to kind of get ready for today because I always enjoy my time I get to spend with Sean Lardo live. And before I jump into it, I'm going to bring him on. I was going to I'm trying to, off the cuff, think of my brother from another mother type comment.
I was waiting. I feel like the best was the Mia Moore out of nowhere, just because you were in Mexico and you're like, and you're so bilingual.
Yeah. I just got back from Mexico.
I know.
For sure.
I'm aware. I'm sort of jealous. So how you doing, buddy?
Oh, it has been forever since we've gone live, and it's doing awesome. I just got back from Baja, 6 days of riding my truck or driving my truck through the desert, and that was incredible. It was an awesome experience. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go live with you during that time because my Starlink was the day we were supposed to go live. Having some issues that particular day and got it all ironed out, but it's good.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you got it all ironed out now. That's important.
It's very important to have internet wherever I go. So
I would agree. So yeah, Baja 6 days sounds rough. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but
good tacos and margaritas. So Sean, we're here to chat about PitchIT, although we could talk for hours about just personal stories and so forth. Kind of what's PitchIT? Where are we at right now?
So all right, well let's level set what PitchIT is first off, right?
Yeah.
PitchIT is a Shark Tank-like competition. It is designed to find the innovators, the startup companies that are in our space that are able to do two very important things. One is to integrate with ConnectWise, and the other is to support the mission of the MSPs, which is the most important mission, right? And this is not a concept competition. This is an actual competition. So you must already have clients involved, right? And I will say this: one thing that we've seen over the last 2 years is the evolution of it and how advanced these vendors have gotten is really nice. But really what the program is designed to do, it is a competition, but before you actually compete, if you're accepted into the program, it is a 16-week accelerated incubator program where it goes over trainings. There's workshops every single week, from sales and marketing to mergers and acquisition to product development timelines and whatever else there is, right? Everything and in between. During those 16 weeks also, there is live streams with people like you and recorded podcasts that we bring all the contestants on, because we're trying to focus on three pillars for us: is that development of people, of their company, whatever it is they need to develop their company. The other is that they have to have we're looking to get them more exposure and awareness in the community. And the third, last but not least, is increase their network to the right people, getting them involved with the right people in the communities, right? The reason why this is all important is because we're looking for them to have the ability to have staying power in our business, right? In our industry. And you put it across the bottom of the screen. I saw your faces. You were doing it all excited. It comes back to the three promises that we put out a few years ago. Easier to do business with, even more invested in partner growth, and more innovations faster. It's extremely important that we have all those, and PitchIT actually emulates all of those.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And last year you had what, 24 contestants, if I recall?
26.
26. Okay.
And that's what we're looking. We're only taking 26 in this year as well. So
yeah. So looking back last year, kind of what stood out last year during last year's competition?
A couple of things. One, well, and not even just last year, over the last 2 years of me running the program, I say this specifically because we know that there's always this sexy subjects to talk about, right? Or products or solutions, which has been cybersecurity up until last year. It's, cybersecurity was probably dethroned by AI in general, right? But they're still
Yep.
number one, number two. I specify these things because if you look at the vendors that actually were in the competition and the ones that became 3 finalists at the end, they literally were from all different sectors of the business. So, whether it's a QBR offering or it's a project management offering of some sort or whatever it may be, it's not just AI and cybersecurity. So what stood out the most is just the diversity of the vendors that are involved. So it shows how much is needed across the board for operate, because this is all, it comes down to business continuity and operational excellence for all these MSPs,
Yep.
regardless of whatever product it is. So that's one thing. The other thing is we noticed that there's, it's nice to watch these vendors. They came year 2 for me. The vendors were more prepared than year 1 because they watched year 1's vendors go through stuff. So they came in a little bit more prepared. I'm not saying the competition was better than year 1, but it might have been better. It seemed to be. It seemed to be a lot more involved and engaged and invested in the community itself.
Yeah. So looking back last year, just a couple of the questions, and we'll bring our other panelist on.
Mhm.
What do you believe is some really key factors that really make the PitchIT contestant really stand out and succeed within the program?
So a couple of things. It depends on, well, let's define success, right? Success is 2
Yep.
things here. I mentioned before, it is a Shark Tank-like competition. So you are competing to become one of the 3 finalists to go present live on stage at IT Nation Connect in front of, well, last year was over 600-700 partners in the audience. And you're trying to win the grand prize of $70,000. So that's great. But that's not the only success here. The other success is while you're in the program is really buying into it and establishing your own growth and growing as a business. Because really at the end of the day, all these vendors are all SaaS vendors. So they're looking to, to increase their ARR, MRR, however they focus, right? So success is defined by both of those categories, whether it's win the competition or literally setting yourself on a trajectory of more success and growing and scaling as a business. And what we saw last year, even just from the 3 finalists, there was the 3 finalists going through from the start of the program to the end of the program, they realized a $3 million increase in business collectively. So that's a lot for a 16-week program and to get you to another level of your business. So I think the thing you saw last year and you'll see again this year is them being more active and increasing their awareness within the program on social media, connecting with ConnectWise more, and all the vendors and partners, and align themselves well with it.
So you mentioned a little bit about that 16-week educational program, really kind of empowering the participants. But can we expect any changes from last year to this year?
So, well, we've made some adjustments into our curriculum. We've added on some pretty big pieces to it. One is community engagement, increase awareness. There's a big difference. You can pay for pay-per-click campaigns. You can do those things, right? But we know that's not human, right? You also can show up at a conference and have your booth and signage up, but there's a difference between that and engaging in the crowd and knowing how to actually engage in the community while you're there and being a trusted advisor almost to the community without selling. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You're constantly pitching and pitching and pitching. You're not generating relationships. You're not creating relationships. You're not able to. I'd rather have more friendships than deals, because those friendships, if done right, lead to deals regardless.
Yeah.
So we have made some adjustments to some of the curriculum. A lot of it's focused on people learn how to engage better on stage, on video. Also, they will be getting a class on video readiness. So check your camera, check your lights, check your mic, all those things. Here's how you do OBS if you want to, whatever it is. So there is a lot of those things that are going to be taking place this year.
Nice. And I got to compliment you. Your background is ever increasing, and I like it a lot. So it's getting pretty nice. It's getting good looking.
I got to finish.
I could compliment you all day. We're not here to actually just banter between us two. I would like to actually bring on Dave. Dave, how you doing?
Yes, very good. Yourself?
Doing fantastic.
Dave Maik from Canada.
Hey,
Yeah.
how's it going, eh?
I can always
There
count
we
on you
go.
to totally jump into the role of Canadian.
I can do
Why
the
is it-
Eastern Canadian accent too, like a boat, Let's go, eh?
I
All
think
right?
there was an early 90s movie that every time I hear a Canadian voice, it just sparks in my
Are you
head.
talking about
You're gonna
the two
Fargo.
Bob
guys?
and Doug McKenzie?
Fargo.
Oh,
Fargo.
Oh, Fargo. Okay. Well, I was thinking more Bob and Doug McKenzie, but that was
So was
80s.
So was
Yeah.
I, but anyway.
Maybe I was sick. My wood chippers. Okay. So, Dave, just do a brief introduction and tell us a little bit about DefenseX.
For sure. Dave Maik from DefenseX, channel director, but I wear a lot of hats, obviously doing a lot of things inside the organization, really just managing the entire North American market for DefenseX. DefenseX endpoint protection, really we see ourselves as the next generation of DNS filtering. We feel DNS filtering is kind of dated, does not protect today's attacks. They're coming from many different angles, and the typical allow block categorization doesn't do enough. So we expand on that by providing protection on the web browsing side, as well as file and credential protection. So phishing attacks, malware, and just general stuff that gets streamed down to your computer while you're, breezing through the web.
So
Nice.
how long
Okay.
so I think it's important to know, to tell people, like, one thing that most customers and partners ask in general when we talk to customers is, how long you guys been around for?
I've been around for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And who do you typically work with, like, as far as client base is concerned?
We are 100% MSP, MSSP driven. That's where our market is. We utilize one distributor, but we're marketing to the MSPs of the world. We want to educate them so they can educate their clients.
Got it. And where should we look to find you in the future?
Everywhere.
I know, right?
I feel like I'm everywhere.
Yeah, you and our other guest, Matt, you guys are everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I do want to. I wish I'd have pulled the picture, but man, how many people, Adam, do you know end up on stage with famous rappers somehow, some way?
With a DefenseX wristband on.
Yeah, and makes them wear the wristband on stage too. Like,
That was
and
pretty awesome.
was that Wyclef?
That was Wycliffe, yeah. That was my marketing hat. So I changed from channel director to marketing person right there on the spot.
I mean, or like reality star. I'm not sure.
Maybe I got something else going on. I don't know.
What should partners know about you specifically, or about the company, to why they'd want to work with you?
Well, like I said, we see ourselves as the next generation of DNS. Like, we believe DNS is quite old technology. In fact, we've released a SKU that's DNS only. We've stripped it out of our core product, which has DNS plus some of our secret sauce, if you will. And we're selling it now. It's cheap, like really, really cheap, because we believe this technology is old. So the problems today lie in the browsing and the attack levels of what's coming through credentials. So, phishing attacks through Microsoft 365, Dropbox. I mean, you go on and on. Phishing attacks are coming from all angles. Specifically, I think everybody's had one go to their phone that says, "I'm your bank and I owe you $57. Click this link, log into your account, and we'll send you the $57." Well, guess what? You've just given up all your credentials. So that's one of the main things that we do to protect against the users from just dropping in credentials in the wrong spot. And then file protection, which is just file downloads, drive-by downloads that are just infecting everybody in today's world.
So you're telling me that UPS did not bring my Amazon box? I shouldn't have.
No, especially the one that you didn't actually ship too.
Oh,
but you thought you did.
I don't know what I've done. He said he had an Amazon package, and I had to click on the link to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's finally coming. Oh my God. Right. Cool.
I'm so excited.
Have you seen the Jason Statham movie, Beekeeper?
No.
Go check it out. Somebody clicks on the email and gets in their bank account and withdraws all the funds, and then Jason Statham goes on a rampage. It's basically like John Wick, Jason Statham style,
but without a dog, and it was more money in the bank.
Yeah. Anyway, Dave, that's awesome. Let me.
Yes.
I want to bring on. Matt and do a little introduction with him. So pop you out and pop you in.
Oh, hi, Matthew.
Hey, Matt, how you doing from Nodeware?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's awesome. It's Tuesday and it's April, springtime. Allergies start kicking up though soon. So
Yeah, Georgia's got the worst pollen in the country right now, so we're getting some very happy rain at this moment. My car, you can take a finger on it, and it looks like you stuck your hand in sugar with a wet finger. It's nasty. It really is.
Yeah. Wow.
He said, wow. I mean, Adam's in California,
know.
man. He's in Southern California. He's like, it's so sunny.
Oh, please. Have you ever seen a yellow car? Because that's what mine looks like right now.
Yeah. You forget that California, where I live, is agriculture.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So,
yeah, but you're not getting the rain part. You don't get the rain.
No rain.
Tony sang "It Never Rains in Southern California." They specifically said it in a song. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And I believe them.
So Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and then what's Nodeware all about?
I don't remember anything about myself at this time because my brain hurts.
That's an age thing.
Yeah. No, I've been in the channel for a real long time. I mean, I've been in charge of sales and marketing organizations. Started with rapid fire tools and just kind of kept going, bringing certain companies to market, helping other companies with specific issues they're having, and currently with Nodeware as their VP of channel sales.
Nice. So let's talk about Nodeware then. What's Nodeware do?
Wait. Oh, yeah. That's
that's the second part of the question.
Dude, my head hurts. Anyway.
And just so we're clear, Matthew and Nodeware were one of the 3 finalists last year at IT Nation Connect. So he actually won the preliminaries to be one of the finalists because he's so good at pitching. Go ahead, Joe.
Isn't that scary? Anyway, Nodeware Nodeware does continuous internal and external vulnerability scanning. So it's based on the principle that traditional vulnerability scanning sucks. Takes too much time, too many resources. You got to go on site. There's extra equipment, and it lets too many people jump into the network with those 30 or 90-day scans to get in there and do damage before you know about it. So with Nodeware, it's running 7x24 in the background, no network degradation. Works off a multi-tenant dashboard so you can see each one of your customers. You're able to dig down and see, it's a full asset inventory, including IoT devices, platform agnostic, Mac, Windows, Linux. And the nice thing is you're not working off a stack of reports. Your information's right there. You can dig down on it. Plus, we give you remediation guidance. We'll give you the link to the solution to cut down on hours of research. So it's pretty cool. There are other people out there that claim they're continuous, but we're truly the only one that's truly continuous. Set it up in 30 minutes, let it run, and that's the end of it.
Right. Now, okay. That's fair. I like that. So what's the real, so why do partners want to work with you? Why should they want to work with you?
Well, partners want to work with us for a couple of reasons. One, as stated, CIS, NIST, CMMC, HIPAA, I could go on, all now require vulnerability scanning, where a lot of them didn't before. So MSPs are going, oh my God, I have to do this. Second thing, some of them are actually starting to state, like the new CIS rules, continuous vulnerability management. I wonder who meets that requirement. But next and most importantly, we give them a way to find, manage, and remediate critical vulnerabilities within 24 hours, not 30 or 90 days. So we cut down on time for them. We cut down on the amount of money they have to spend to do this. And they're being really proactive instead of reactive to when they do it in 90 days, find a problem and go, oh crap, now I got to figure out how to fix this and be reactive versus it's on my schedule. I'm fixing things over time, making sure the criticals are taken care of, and I don't have to react to everything known to mankind.
Right. Okay.
Plus, there's me.
I mean, okay. You lost me at hello. I feel like you did so well until the very end. like you did so well, and then you literally had to win, and you just, first rule in sales, don't talk first. The second rule is don't talk too much. So, okay. So, and how long has Nodeware been around for?
The software platform has been around 5 years. Nodeware and the channel's been around a little over a year and a half now.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. All right. Any questions, Adam, you have before we?
No questions. I'm ready. I want to start getting into my questions for both. So I'm going to bring Dave back in. There we go.
Dave, where are my butter tarts? That's all I want to know. Where are my butter tarts?
Whoa.
Next week.
Your audio is all jacked up, Dave. Good job on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You should get off and come back in. That's what you're going to have to do. Don't worry. We'll just talk amongst all Americans here while we wait for you to come back.
It's
Yeah.
the
NSA
has tapped into his feed.
Yeah, you may need to jump off and jump back in. Exactly.
Yep,
Also,
there we go.
back to our regularly scheduled program with just Matt again.
God help you.
Don't we love this program? So, Matt, hopefully I'll ask the question directly to Dave. But what was kind of like your journey through PitchIT last year? What was it like?
It was really cool. One of the things that I think I like best about PitchIT, besides all the exposure and everything you can get, is it was cool. It really bonded the company. Because remember, they go through everything from sales to marketing to social media to, from an ownership, what's all this other stuff look like, how to present. And what was cool is I was able to bring in pieces of the company that normally wouldn't participate and say, hey, here's a marketing session. Why don't you go listen to this? Because it's about the channel and it's from an, hey, sales team, why don't you jump on and listen to this? Because there's some sales advice from some experts. So, the journey was fantastic. Everybody got to learn, everything built on top of each other. And you really get an education on what you need to not only prepare to try to win the thing, but more importantly, even if you don't get to the next stage, you get so much knowledge from experts and so much information that all of a sudden your team's got a new view on things. And you go forward, even just with that, it's worthwhile. I mean, you're talking about $100,000 worth of consulting you're getting for free.
Yeah,
that's fair.
For sure. So what was the biggest challenge last year that you faced during that? And then we'll jump over and ask Dave the same question. So what was your biggest challenge last year?
Well, you asked for that.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'd say our biggest challenge, in all seriousness, was you start to, I guess, double think yourself when you're putting together the presentation. They give you a great guide and they instruct you on, what it should look like and everything. But like anything else, right? Like HIPAA, here's the guidance. Now, what you do with it is up to you. And, you're so focused on everything you've learned, you sit down and go, okay, this is, oh, no, it's not. Okay, do it again. Okay, this is okay, no. And also, it's a benefit and a curse having the whole company involved because then everybody has an opinion, right? So you have to be careful about getting too many people involved when it comes down to finally putting together your pitch and your presentation, everything, or you'll be redoing it to the end of time. So I guess if I had to give one piece of advice, look, put it down, go through it. If it reads well, if it meets the criteria, stop overthinking it. Go do the best you can.
Nice. So Dave, same question. What was your journey like through PitchIT? And then, what was the biggest challenge you had, to deal with last year?
Yeah, well, definitely Matt hit a lot of marks there. A lot of stuff he mentioned, which was awesome. But I think he missed one. And Sean mentioned it already, was friendships. The amount of friendships that came out of this. There's a long list. In fact, I just came back from, Robin Robbins boot camp, and that's who I was hanging with. All these people that were at PitchIT. In fact, one gentleman was there, and he took all my swag back home for me because he lives in New York area, and he's going to deliver it to me at ASCII next week. So I didn't have to pack it in my luggage, and do all those things. Like that's like, I don't know, like that's probably above everything else is that right there. Everybody's got everyone's back now. Like all these people are just, they're all cheerleaders for you now. So I think that's the biggest part. There's a ton of value, but that is the biggest part.
Nice. Sean,
Hey, Matt, do you mind? Matt, what are you typing, buddy? Like,
Sorry.
really? Are you taking notes?
Yes,
I doubt that. I doubt that. And you make a stupid face when you type too. So stop doing it. You look weird.
Okay. So
the other part of the question to Dave was
the challenge.
Yes,
the challenge. I guess for me being
wait, now Matt's muted. He's trying to explain.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Type away, Matt. It doesn't matter now.
And make that weird face.
Okay. Never again will I ever do a morning show with Sean. He is hopped up on Ritalin or Pixie Sticks or something.
It's his Lucky Charms.
It was actually
Lucky Charms.
It wasn't Lucky Charms. It was
Okay.
Nut Cheerios. It's good for cholesterol. Anyway, go on.
Good. So challenges, definitely from my standpoint, because I don't have a big team, two of us here in North America. It's the ability to do everything that was required during the contest, right? I mean, it's attending all the sessions, and the sessions are great. Definitely learned a lot through those sessions. And then the pitch, nailing that pitch or trying to nail that pitch. That was the biggest challenge at the end, is taking all this information that's been given, all the help that we got, all the mentors that were given to us, and then trying to nail that pitch. And at the end, as Matt was saying, I mean, you're kind of creating this pitch and thinking, I got it. Oh no, tweak. And then the next thing you know it, oh my God, I'm on stage in 18 hours tomorrow. So what do I do? Okay, I think I got it. I'm living with it. I'm going to go with it. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So I think I did a pretty good job, but at the end of the day, I wasn't one of the final three, but that doesn't matter to me. That was not the end game.
Yeah, so let's touch base on that, Sean.
Yeah.
I got it. So let's touch. So you weren't not one of the final three, and I'm just curious of feedback around exposure, right? It's all it's all about that exposure and feedback around the kind of pitch it and that really helps shape DefenseX to a degree. Can you talk a little bit about that? Of kind of, you're not a winner, but you actually did win.
I think everybody does. All 26 people, if they used it right. I think that is the key piece of the puzzle there. You could go through this program and la-li-da, I've attended all 16 sessions and I made a pitch, but I'll be honest, there's 26 of us there. I don't see all 26 people out in the market posting, doing these things, continuing with that momentum you've probably gained through the program, and stay on that wave of building it. And going back to those friends, all those people you meet during the competition and hanging with them, and they have a network of people, right? And they're introducing you to the network because they're like, hey, it's all good. Hey, friends, cool. And that's what you gotta ride that wave. You have to keep it going. And it's another reason I applied to do PitchIT again this year, because I want to meet more people.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a springboard. You're given a blank canvas, you're given the canvas, you're given the paintbrushes, you're given the colors, right? However, you actually have to step up and paint. If you don't step up and paint, all the supplies are great, but it's not going to do a darn thing for you. That's one of the things that I was trying to tell people that asked me about applying this year. I'm like, look, it's fantastic. The exposure is amazing. The amount of people we're still getting people calling us saying, hey, I remember seeing you at PitchIT. I'm ready to talk now. So, it's amazing, but don't go into this thinking there's no work involved. It's a lot of work. And I don't want to scare anybody. Not that. It's just saying you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And if you don't have someone or someones that are dedicated to doing this properly, then you're just going to kind of go through it and go, well, why didn't I get anything out of this? Well, because you didn't put anything into it. You've got to be willing to do the work. And, I don't want to lie. There's a lot of work, but the benefits are worth everything.
Yep. No, you're right. I think, well, the one thing, and actually Dave and I had this conversation when he was contemplating 2 years ago and being in it and being part of like the IT Nation, the ConnectWise community and whatnot, right? And you'd have to do this anyway. If you're going to grow your business, the things that we're providing for you, you have to do. The only difference is we're literally just providing guidance and giving you, Matt, you said it best, a springboard almost to do this, right? But with that though, I want to come back to Dave, you said you weren't, you wish you were a finalist, of course, but that wasn't really your end game. Your end game was what was going to take place. So what kind of success did you experience through the program?
We talked about this, right? In I think around July or August, and in September, we saw a bump in numbers in the company, and we hadn't done anything really all that special, right? I mean, summer months are pretty, there's not much going on. The shows are kind of quiet. People are usually vacationing. There's usually a dip in business. We went the other way. We went up. We saw more sales, more endpoints being deployed. And that was right at the end of the 16-week program. And all that other publicity that we were getting, ramping up to that kind of final pitch at the end of August, we got into live streams. Our name was out there. You guys were publicizing the names of the people that were involved. And there's no doubt that people went to go and say, who's this guy? I never heard of this company. Who's this pucker? What's this? But and all of a sudden, hey, that product seems really cool. I should be diving into this. And next thing you know, you got a new customer. So you'd never know where things come from. And Sean, you mentioned again, I said friends, right? I love going to these shows and just meeting people and building friendships. And I don't care if that person's ever going to buy DefenseX or not, but I think that the value is creating this this group of people around you. And if I have time for a very quick story, I was at a show, and at the end of the day, one of the days, I said to my SC, I said, go grab 4 or 5 MSPs. Let's take them to dinner. He went and grabbed 4 or 5 guys. We went to dinner. We had dinner, really nice dinner, closed it up, went to bed. Next day we got up. We were sitting in the bar that night, and one of the guys was still there, comes over to me and he says, you know what? You got a lot of points from us last night. I said, oh, for what? Just because I bought you dinner? He goes, no, you never brought up business the entire time we sat down for dinner. You didn't talk about anything. We were talking about, who surfs and who does this and who plays hockey, whatever. That was it. And the night was over. So, those are the kind of things that, eventually down the road pay dividends as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the best selling is not selling. I mean, it really is. And, one of the other things I've learned, and Dave, it sounds like you have also, look, if I'm not the right solution, I'll walk you over to my competitor. I don't care. You're not doing business with me anyway. Let me introduce you to the right solution for you. Or, like Dave said, if I know someone that's looking for something that Dave does, let me walk you over there. Let me introduce you. I mean, I've always said this. It's a huge industry, small community. Do right by everybody. It doesn't matter if they're going to be your customer now. Someday they might, or they may know someone that they turn around and go, you know what? I met this really cool guy. As a matter of fact, he does this. You should go talk to him. I mean, I get at least one of those a week right now. Hey, I spoke to so-and-so. They said we really need to come talk to you. That's priceless. And Dave, I mean, you said it. It's priceless. And the way you're going to get that is I have a strict rule. If I go out to dinner for business, we can't talk business. I tell them up front, if you're going to bring up business, then I don't want you here because this isn't business. We can talk business later. We can talk business in the morning. I do not talk business over food.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. If you create enough relationship, people look you up anyway and see what you do. Okay. And at some point, just by natural evolution of conversation, at some point somebody says, what do you guys do? What do you do for a living? Whatever it is, even if you weren't at a conference and you were at a bar locally and having a drink, eventually the topic will come up of, so what do you do for a living? Because it defines us, right? And you automatically say, especially if you do something that's insightful to them, like, oh, wow. Like, what do you, and it's funny because sometimes I think just because of the sheer amount of people that we meet, especially this area on this stream, we meet so many different walks of life people. The amount of conversations I've had, it's almost like from Cheers, Cliff Clavin, how he knew like everything but nothing because of all the, that's how I feel like we developed that skill. So I can go like, if I'm local, I have conversations about worldly things. And people are like, what do you do for a living? They think like I'm probably some sort of entrepreneur that's jet streaming across the world. I'm like, I work in IT. And they're just like baffled. They're like, what does that mean? And then that's where I have to pitch. And that's a hard part for some.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you definitely get a very robust life lesson in this space, doing what we do anyway, because we're all publicly out there.
Yeah. Let's think about how many security vendors or security products that are out there. And you go to these shows, and IT Nation's a great example of how many vendors are there. I mean, it is for an MSP to actually shuffle through everything and figure it all out. It's a daunting task, and to make sure that they've created a correct stack for their MSPs. So one other guy trying to jam their product down their throat is not going to work, as far as I'm concerned. I always say, look, this is what I do. If it makes sense, just try it. We give it for free anyways. Go for it. If you don't like it, you can continue using it. We don't care. We have no end date on our trial, but go ahead. I have no problem with you telling me no or not using or selling my product. But that just means you don't maybe get it, how we fit in, or you're not ready, or it's just not a fit.
But if they don't get it, that means that your messaging is wrong, or your discovery was wrong.
It's possible. It's possible.
Or you have MSPs that don't necessarily.
Another reason I got to be in PitchIT again.
Yeah, I mean, because I had an MSP yesterday get in touch with me. I sent out some emails. He wrote back. He said, "Hey, Matthew, I appreciate it, but I'm not sure that this is the right tool for us." So I was curious. I wrote back and I said, "Okay, no problem. I won't bother you, but can you tell me why?" He had no idea the difference in this case between pen testing and vulnerability management. It had nothing to do with us per se. He sees those as interchangeable terms, no matter what I said. So long story short, I said, you know what? Why don't we get on the phone for 30 minutes? I said, if it doesn't make sense, go away. But I knew based on the tools he was sending me the name of that he was confused. Great thing. Got off the phone, got off the Teams meeting. He's like, no, this is perfect. This actually fits right in with what we're doing. This is awesome. So, I mean, to your point, I wasn't going to pressure him. I just said, look, I just want to make sure, even if you go away, you understand that it's not the same, even if this is for education, having nothing to do with us. Yeah. And that's one of the things he said he really appreciated. He said the fact that, I was willing to educate him not on the product, but what the difference between the terminologies were, so he could learn that.
Which is fair.
Yeah. Nice. And this is a typical, I think, and it sounds like Matt's going to agree with me, MSPs, especially medium to small, they're wearing a billion hats, trying to be the accountant and trying to obviously sell stack and trying to figure out what should be in their stack and what's the best and this and that. So a lot of the times it gets blurry for them, and they don't really understand maybe what they're looking at. And I think that sounds like a similar situation that, they just don't have any time, where you get into the bigger MSPs and they've got all these people doing their specific jobs, and they get it way easier because they know that's their job. Their job is to understand technology and what's best for the company, not do accounting, not ship product or do anything else. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you find that there are levels of MSPs, right? You got the guys that are just kind of starting out. You got the guys that have been doing it a while and are now getting into either cybersecurity, trying to build their stack or change things out. And then you got the big guys where, it's more of a rip and replace because they get it. They have processes. They're doing their things. And, if they're looking and saying, look, I want to switch this out, but they have a specific reason for wanting to switch it out.
Yeah.
Agree. So, I was going to say, Matt, real quick, why don't we just get off and let them finish up the show? Because I can go get some coffee. You guys are good. I'll just go get my coffee, come back. You just lock the doors on your way out, please, guys. Appreciate it.
Shut the lights too?
Yes, make sure you get the lights off. And look, and then Adam's Wi-Fi on cue. Good job, Adam. I'm glad you got that styling taken care of. Welcome back.
My bandwidth just went down. Welcome back. I know, right? I'm just curious. I'm going to ask this question of Dave. Yeah, it's rough, right? Can you share maybe a pivotal moment or a piece of advice during the program last year that really significantly impacted your business? There's got to be something this year, and it sounds like you actually applied again for this year. So
yeah, and I it's really hard to pinpoint a specific one thing in the entire process because there was value as you went along the entire way. Every week when we had those calls, there was value in those calls. There was always something you could pull out of it. Some weeks more than others. Some were sessions that we were already ahead of, but others were just spot on. Like, wow, holy crap, this is amazing, and this is great value. But like I said, I think as we got right to the end and we saw that spike, we saw that volume increase, and we saw that attention grow, that was a pivotal moment where the light bulb kind of went off after probably the 15th week, where I was sitting there going, this is a lot of work, as Matt was saying. And then you get there and you're seeing what's all this attention and where's it coming from? And I'm trying to pinpoint. I'm like, I said to Sean, I said, I can only go one thing. It's pitch it. And now we're coming up to where, we're doing our pitch. And that was kind of the pinnacle. And that was kind of the climax of the whole program that brought us to a new level of knowledge, or people knowing us in the industry. And forget about all the money that we're spending now moving forward to try to get our name out there and be at these shows and educate people of what we do. There's no question that helped us, and that is why I applied again, because I'll take that all day long. And again, the end game is creating and meeting more people and creating a bigger pocket of people that know us. Winning is great, but this is not what it's all about, this program. 100%.
Yeah. And I think it's more about, Dave spending time with Sean, Matt. Maybe you should take note of that. Like, instead of taking the hard part was dealing with Sean, where Dave was spending time with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when he brings cigars. It's the best part.
Well, I mean,
just saying.
For sure. Definitely. And we have Keith Nelson actually coming to us, commenting and streaming his awesome knowledge. So it's got to drop a few key comments.
Really? Are we really going that route?
No, we're not. So same question for you, Matthew. What was the one piece of advice maybe you got out last year? And I'm just curious, I don't know if you applied again for this year.
I can't.
I don't know, because of Final 3.
I'm a Final 3. I can't apply again this year.
Look at my video.
Which is fine. I'll be happy to coach or get involved any way I can, because it was a blast. But to answer your question directly, I don't know if it's a piece of advice. I think what we really got out of it is it gelled the company. The company was new to channel. As I said, it's a 5-year-old platform. It was for, I'll call it a master MSP doing kind of VC, so pen testing stuff, but they weren't used to going to shows and all that other stuff. And what was nice is for them, it confirmed a lot of stuff, not only that I was saying, but that they wanted clarification on, to be able to go, oh, this is different. Okay, this is how we need to do this. And that was priceless. I mean, literally, it took an entire company and went, whoop, boom. And off we went to the races, and you can see the difference every day on what they're doing, how they're doing it, their thought process and everything else. And I don't know that would have happened without PitchIT. I think, in a lot of ways, I might have been still beating my head against the wall over certain stuff. And Sean knows that, an unhappy Matthew is not a good Matthew.
It's a lot. It's a lot for me.
So this is about 45 minutes, but I have 2 questions for each of you guys. And it's kind of like, this is the call for applications for new contestants to apply, right? So reflecting on your experience, what do you think is essential for future participants to make the most of PitchIT? What advice would you give them? So Dave, let's start off with you.
Take everything and anything you can get out of it, in the sense of Sean, in all these calls, really points to what you should be doing. And I think if people ignore that and don't follow those instructions, they won't get much out of it. They're still going to get something, but they're not going to maximize their time. If you're willing to spend an hour per week for 16 weeks on a phone, on a call to learn something, and then spend some time creating a pitch and getting involved in those pitches, win or lose at the end, you have the ability now. You've been given something for free. Why not utilize that to the max? It's free. And if you're going to put your time out there, maximize that. Essentially, you just waste your time going every week for 16 weeks if you're not going to do all those other things. And Sean talks about, posting on LinkedIn and tagging him and other people in those tags. These are all going to generate eyes to you, and that's the key thing. And then the couple live streams you get during the contest as well. You got to utilize those.
So Keith, just real quick, he's always looking for vendors and help understand the company and decide, if we're a fit, right? And so, we have a lot of various different people watching us. And if you're a software vendor, I would really encourage you to, oops, not that one.
He didn't even spell it right.
He's never spells it right, dude. It never works. So
Loved it.
And let me say,
I want to know what a DAT is.
It's like a DAP, but not the same. Like CDAT. CDAT. You see that?
That's
over
probably
there?
One of these?
That's probably
It's not even. No,
Okay.
that. It's not. What was that?
We're on something really good though.
Isn't that thing they did? The DAP? What was it called? The football players?
Yeah, it's not that way.
Is it that? I don't remember.
Yes, there you go.
That's
So anyway,
a dab.
That's right.
oh my
Okay.
God,
Okay. Anyway,
a bunch of middle-aged men trying to figure out what a dance move is. Let's just say that right
We've
now.
digressed horribly.
it's when I accidentally click on a comment. So
Now let's go back to
Matt,
Keith's,
same question.
let's go back to Keith's comment real quick though. I think that's spot on about and Keith is very thorough when he evaluates, right? That's one thing Adam knows, I know. And so before they ever even look at you, they have to know they even like you and know that you may have something to offer, right? First off. And then it goes through the education process after that of what do you really do? And are we a good fit? And, people that are watching this should watch every one of the live streams we do with every vendor we work with, because this is always an interview. And they want to know who you are as a person. Why are you credible? Why should we trust you? And what do you really solve for? That's what they want to know, but they want to see the person. So people should watch this. It's a good way to vet out without even having to have the conversation.
For sure. Yeah. So, Matthew, for you, what was, one advice piece that you got, or what would you coach a future contestant? That's the one that we were going for.
Well, first thing is what Sean said. One of the first things you want to do is you want to build brand awareness. So your brand is you, whether you like it or not. Okay. Whoever's involved in this, who's ever on these live streams and the podcasts and everything else, you need to have a personality. You need to be able to talk to your product. You need to be able to be the face of the company. And in doing so, in all seriousness, because Sean knows that's usually my job, you have to be someone that people can respect. Okay. And the only way to build that is credibility, knowledge, right? I guess I'll call it, what's the right word? The ability to learn and be somewhat humble about what you're learning and not think you know it all. But the next thing is, like we talked about earlier, don't be the only one involved. Have multiple people from the company involved, right? Have different people that do different things. Listen to the presentations. Don't miss presentations if you don't have to. Okay. Everything might not be 100% applicable depending on what the presentation is, but you know what? If you take one thing away from each session, that's 16 new ideas you're getting. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of new ideas for me to be able to get, especially from other people in that shorter period of time. And those ideas that you get, if you implement them, can be life-changing. And the final thing is, do the work, okay? If nothing else, look, when I came into this, my thing was not winning. I was excited that I got to the final thing. My thing was, how do I learn? How do I get my company involved? And how do I get as much brand awareness out there as humanly possible in the shortest period of time? Those were my goals. The fact that we made it to the top 3, that was a great side effect, and I was very excited to be there. But don't go into this with the attitude of it being a contest to win. Go into this with the attitude that you win based on you participating and getting stuff out of it.
Wow.
Dude,
Dave,
how
do you
just
beat
wanna,
that?
Yeah. I don't even know, Sean, but you're going to have to try because it's your up and then the closing thoughts.
Okay. So, because Matt's so freaking long.
What he said?
Yeah, Matt.
If Matt grew a beard, I could see.
Yeah.
Because we're bald and we're white. Okay, great.
Can we color one in right now just to see?
Oh, I got news for you. Mine would look like Sean's now too. That's why I don't.
Oh, I need this in my life.
Oh no, I'm talking about the grayness.
It just makes me look smarter. Anyway, so yeah, no, I'll make it simple. The point to the matter is I mentioned about the 3 pillars of what we are here for, which is giving you the ability to learn and fill in the gaps that you may have as a business and don't realize you have until you go through a workshop. 2 is the network piece where you start to make new friends, right? People that are very much involved in the space that can help you be successful, right? 3 is the awareness to grow your business through the community. So with all that said, though, for me, this is, and these guys all touched it as we talked through the interview. This is a way to fast track you into it and give you some sort of guidance around how to do it. Because a lot of times you come into this lost, and it's funny because everybody on this call has my cell phone number and they text me regularly for random stuff, of course. And I've sat down and worked with them on all their pitches, even after PitchIT. I've worked with them on all kind of, and it's not just me. There's a team and there's a collaboration that exists together that you're building like a lifelong group of friends to work with in various ways. So if anything, if you don't have any friends, come to PitchIT. You'll meet friends.
Yeah.
We are demented. You'll have friends.
Like Sesame Street. Okay.
Yes, exactly. But that's why. And if you want to excel, you come into the program like this to excel, period. That's how this works. You want to excel in this industry and be stronger in the community. Why would you not want to go up against 26 people, 25 other people and try to beat them anyway? I know Matt says it's not about winning. It's absolutely about winning. I want to win every freaking thing. If I can win 70 grand and grow the business and make friends, shit, I just want everything.
I didn't say I didn't want to win. I said that was my goal at first.
I get it.
I was pissed about coming in third. As a matter of
fact, oh, I know you were. We know.
I know that for myself, I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. I love it every year. It's growing and growing and, polishing off more and more, right? I encourage you, if you're a software person or even Sean, you want to go into like the different people that are applicable to the business?
Yes, I'll make it. Yeah, because we have a few minutes left. And okay, so first off, application process is open until April 30th. So you have to, before April 30th, have done the short and the long form. You'll fill out a short form, you automatically get sent the long form, you fill that out. On the first week of May, the team and myself will be evaluating all applicants. And then when we evaluate, and this is part of the criteria piece, right? We do look at your digital footprint. We do look at reviews. So we do look you up. It's not just based off of your form. We want to make sure, A, that you're credible, B, that you're credible in the space of actually engaging. Because if you're not doing the things that these gentlemen both mentioned about educating people and creating relationships, it's moot. Why even be involved? What are we going to give you that you're not going to be a very good contestant? You're not going to get the things that these guys both said that they got out of this from not even just winning first place even, right? But application period's over to April 30th. The people we are accepting 26 vendors this year again, and we're cutting at 26. Now, what's the other criteria? You must be below 2 million in annual revenue. That we increase the amount because we know that some of these guys are operating very high because inflation did occur. My Lord, did it occur. So you must have clients. You cannot have received any major funding. You must be able to integrate with ConnectWise's platforms. You must also be supporting the MSPs. I don't care if you're selling to, through and through. I don't care, but it has to be MSPs involved. That's the majority of what you need to know about it. And I will say this too, for those guys out there, 60-70% of the contestants so far have been or still are MSPs. So they built a solution based off of things that were jacked up in their business that they couldn't get done. So they solved it. Then they talked to their friends and they sold it to them too. And then they're like, hey, I got a business. Oh, also, if you do that, guys, MSPs, know that you put yourself on the side of you're not getting drinks bought for you anymore. You're buying the drinks at the conference. You need to know that now. Just to clear.
Yeah.
Or bring your own cigars, one of the two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
I know majority of our audience is, MSPs and right. And I think this is exciting, PitchIT, to see what is coming out in the industry, what things are happening in the space, right? And there's a lot of new solutions to solve particular problems that are involved in this space. And so definitely encourage you to apply now. I want to just really thank both Dave and Matthew for joining us on this particular call, kickoff call. It was been always fun with Sean and you guys. It's always a blast. So with that, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Sean and I will be back, I believe, next week sometime. We don't have specific dates, but I believe next Wednesday sometime.
Sounds great.
So with that, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Later.
Peace out.
Thanks all.